Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Good morning, sister. Morning as I talk into my phone right now and record this beautiful podcast episode for you. So let's talk about this. It's about joy. It's so funny. Whenever I go to do an episode, I kind of go like, well, what's the title I'm going to talk about? And I start talking. And I couldn't figure it out until I literally just said this right now. It's about joy. It's about joy. Now, I know there's been a lot. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, there's a lot of things I talk about which are heavy. They're real. They're, truth. They're like, I know some of you are kind of like, oh my God, it's like, I feel like I got punched in the gut. Like it's that awakening that sucks, right? It's painful. Not always. It's kind of like this. Ever had it where maybe somebody wakes you up, and they do it really abruptly, right? Think of when you're awakening to a truth inside of you. It's often that kind of like suddenly someone turns the lights on. You're like, I can't, just give me a moment, kind of ease into this, right? Well, sometimes waking up or hearing messages that really profoundly that we know is a truth for us. It's like just turning those lights on and you're just like, it hurts, right? Or you're not ready yet. You feel like you're not ready yet. Let me just sleep a little longer, please. Versus the easing into it, right? But that's not always the way that life works. My experience has been in life that we often kind of get what we feel at the time is like getting sucker punched, right? Like, where did that come from? It's like I'm going for a pee in the morning. No, it was last night. No, it was recently. And my little boy comes up the stairs and I didn't hear him, and he's 5 and he's so cute, right? And I'm peeing, sitting down in the toilet, and suddenly he's there. And I was like, it scared me, right? It shocked me. And it's like, it is that same experience so much of the time of when you hear something that resonates with you so deeply, it's like, it's shocking, right? And it can be heavy when you start to unpack and unravel and really open up to what am I supposed to see in this, What is my role in this? And that's okay for it to be heavy. It should be. If you go, okay, well, here's my role, and I'll just do something different, almost like you're skirting over the surface and you're not allowing yourself to really fully be in it. So that's cool. So we're going to put that in a box today. Because listen, we're all going through challenging stuff in our life. They're just different flavors of it. I'm going through some profound challenging stuff right now. But what I want to share with you today, though, sister, is it's about joy. Yes, life is hard. Yes, life can suck. Yes, that awakening time, those truths that come to us, those things that resonate with us that we go, oh God, like a sinking feeling, is not fun. It's not fun. It has purpose. It has meaning. It is something that is necessary. It's that thing that we just have to just say, you know what? I'm going to take my hands off the wheel of this right now, and I'm just going to trust and surrender where I'm being guided to be right now. But I also need you to know that within the challenging, within the dark, within the oh my God, this is such an ass kicking I feel like I'm getting in all areas of my life. I see you, sister. I do. I see you. That it is okay to also be in a state of joy. Because it's about joy. Oh my God, it is about joy. And laughter and lightness. It dawned on me a couple months ago, myself, my husband and I, even with my kids, I'm like, God, I'm so fucking heavy all the time. Where's that goofy, silly Karen? I remember that girl. She's not gone. By the way, and when you look back on stuff, if you go man, I stopped doing these things, or what happened to her, or things have shifted with us, any of that, those kind of conversations, it's okay. I want you to be okay with it. Do not beat yourself up. Be gentle. Know that you did the best that you could with what you knew to be true at the time. And if there's a new realization coming to you, a new insight, a new understanding, then you can choose different. But you can still honor that past. No blame, no shame, no guilt, none of that. Beating yourself up, no, we need to put that away. But you can choose different. And every moment you can choose joy. So I want to make this really practical today. Maybe this will be the more tip then for you today. We'll kind of morph into this at the same time. But like, how do you do that, right? If you're just in such a dark place, like, how do you do that? You know, I remember when my husband has Crohn's disease, and he had emergency surgery about a year and a bit after he was diagnosed, and it was really tough. Like, yeah, it was emergency surgery. So, you know, he's getting wheeled away, and I'm like, I don't know if he's going to be coming back. Like, it was a really fucking hard moment in my life, and for his life, and for us together, like all of it, right? It's, and then the recovery afterwards and stuff. And I remember so I went through the surgery, you know, made it through and everything. And I remember at times with all the, you know, he went through a couple of weeks, and after I think it was about 2 weeks after the surgery, until he actually got, you know, we got him busted out of the hospital, right? And got him home to really begin the true healing. And I remember at times like feeling little pieces of joy and feeling bad, because I'm like, my husband's suffering right now. He's in pain. Like, I shouldn't be there. And I want you to know that, like, that's what I knew at the time. But I now know that, like, that's not true. That is a false, limiting, if I can NLP it, belief. And that if anything, if you are in a place of darkness, or someone you know is in that pit right now, that you are the light to shine for them, to bring them out. And not that you're manipulating or trying to control or make it happen. You're just simply like that beacon, that lighthouse for them. Now, you can certainly sit next to them and be in their pain with them, or sit next to them and honor the journey that they're in, and not try to make it go away by you going, hey, let's do something fun or funny, right? But you can be in joy. Do you get that? It's like you are like the lighthouse, right? That the boats, when they are, you know, I don't know, boating. How does that work? I don't know boat analogies. I'm just going to go with this one. This is what I hear right now. And Jesse Elder, if you don't know Jesse Elder, ELDER, you need to follow him on Facebook. He is a visionary and just one of the most incredible human beings. And he talks about his lighthouse analogy. And I actually don't know it, but I kind of go like, I think it kind of goes like this. So let me paraphrase this. Deep respect to Jesse Elder if I totally screw this up. But, you know, boats at night, right? That lighthouse is showing them, right, how close that they get to something, or this is that how that works with lighthouse? Oh, God. Terrible analogy. But you are like the lighthouse, sister, is what I'm saying. Like, you are the light that's guiding them. And it can come from a place of joy. And yet, at the same time, there's that paradox where you can also sit next to them in their pain. You can also be compassionate for that. You can also have empathy. You can also be understanding. You can also just be with them next to it. Not be dragged into it, down with it, but just sit with them. One of the most honoring things you can do for someone is to let them feel seen and heard. It is a basic human need that we have that. And we are, as Brene Brown talks about, we are hardwired for connection. This is a physiological, biological thing for us as human beings. And when we're in a place of pain, we feel like we're all alone. And we feel like nobody gets us. Or we feel like if I really open up to these feelings and emotions and this scary shit and these thoughts I'm having, then these people will judge me. They won't love me. They will think worse of me. They will think I'm not the person I'm, putting on the outside, that this is the real pain I'm feeling. And if I really expose that, will I spin out of control? Will they still accept me? Will they see me? So when you sit with someone next to them in their pain, you're just saying to them very clearly, profoundly, intimately, beautifully, I see you, I hear you, I'm here for you. What a gift that is. But then you can also be that one which is about joy and lightness. Listen, if someone's in a heavy place, we can't stay there always. We will get swallowed in the darkness. It is important we have these moments of light. And if you are the one to show them, if you're the one to show yourself, see, it could be that you're in a really dark place right now and you just need to know, like, the end game is joy, sister. The destination is joy. The outcome is joy. That's where you're headed. And I know maybe you feel like you got a little lost and you've drifted. And maybe you've done and you've said things and you've just gotten so off track. You're like, how did they get to here? And again, I just like, be gentle with you, sister. Be gentle. Just like you would nurture and be gentle with your child. You have that inner child of you to be gentle and to nurture and to love and to be understanding. But it is about joy. It's about joy. So back to the practical. How do we do this? I think you just need to know, like, what makes you laugh, right? Some goofy video. Maybe it's a new one, something you've seen a million times. It could be a movie. Like, I'm very visual and kinesthetic. And so for me, it's like to watch something, like read something. I'd say more to watch something, like some video or something, when I'm just present with my kids and I watch them, right? When I slow down, it allows me to see joy in the moments, in the pockets. If you feel like you're in a dark space and it's like there's like just a little thing and if I blink, I'm going to miss it. Being present will anchor you into those joyful moments that come up, because they are coming up. You're being shown them at times, but we're in such a dark place we just can't see because everything's just gray or black. For me, being really kinesthetic when I hear music, right? Like music that uplifts me. Like I was thinking about some music that I don't know, used to like really love when my oldest boy, who's now 8, it's so crazy to have an 8-year-old boy now, 8 and a 5-year-old, that when Tyson, my 8-year-old, when he was like a baby, I remember having like dance parties, like enough where I'd be holding him and kind of like dancing with him. And I remember it would usually like be around 5 o'clock. My husband was still in the practice at that time, and I was in the practice in the mornings, and he was there in the afternoons. And so I remember the afternoons around 5 would kind of be, if you're a parent, there's like a witching hour for your kids. It's all different ages, right? When he was a baby, I remember just because he'd be home around like 6:15, 6:30, and I'd just be like at 5 o'clock, like my steam would start to just like, because I'd be in the practice in the morning, he'd be with Tyson, then we would switch off. That's how we did when he was a baby up until when Ed had his surgery. And so I remember those dance party moments when I was like, oh, some of those songs. And I've said to Tyson, his songs come up as we're listening to music in the car, driving to school or doing stuff with the kids. And I'd be like, oh, Tyson, we used to dance with this as a baby. So I was thinking of things and I was like, oh my God, this band, which is called Foster the People. I'm like, oh my God, that song. And I listened to the whole album, like, it's so good. And so I have this one song right now, which is called, oh God, what's the song? Tell me what you want. I can't. Anyways, it's awesome. And just, so you could turn on music. And you could dance. Now, I'm not really like a public dancer. Like, I don't go to clubs and there's none of that. And I was at a women's retreat a couple months ago and they were doing this whole freeform dancing and I was just wanted to just crawl out of my skin. Like, blah. That didn't work for me. And it wasn't music that I wanted, right? But like in the car, like blast music, or I'm going to go home right now. And just to increase that vibration, increase that energy, increase that joy. And it's not dismissing what's going through right now. It's not as a way for you to numb it out, right? It's just to say, I need to have these breaks of joy in my day. And it's okay for me to have it. And I'm going to give myself permission to feel joy, even when I feel like I'm in the shit right now. So your more tip, let's make this really simple, is to go to a favorite song, or maybe like me, like music that you're like, oh yeah, I remember this. And most people have iTunes. Like, go to iTunes, download the music, have it on your phone, crank it in the car, crank it at home, whatever you want to do. Put it as your ringtone. I don't know. People still do ringtone stuff. I guess there's no one really talks on the phone anymore, but whatever. Like, have that favorite song and be like, this is a way that is very easy to change your state. My therapist reminded me of this recently. I'm like, yes, you are right. Like, this is such an easy way just to kind of like, boom, like just change that, right? So have that, on your phone or wherever you listen to music or download music or consume it in any way, and just have that available for you. So when you're kind of like, okay, I'm going to give myself permission now to feel some joy, even if it's for the 3 minutes of this song right now, and just be in that moment and give yourself permission to feel joy, because it is about joy, sister. It really, really is. So I want to share with you a brand new Facebook community, free community I created called The Journey to Feminine. It's been something that's really been building inside of me for a long period of time. And it suddenly came to fruition. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start this as a Facebook group. So this is for you, sister, if you feel like you don't really know how to bring out that feminine piece of you. And there's a lot of you listen to podcasts that are like me, right? That are energies. Now listen, we have masculine and feminine, right? Like they're both a piece of us, but like it's a little bit more dominant masculine. And maybe sometimes that's affected relationships, and it's affected how you do business, and affected, with parenting and how you show up and your experiences with other women. And you feel like you're not like other women. Okay. You feel like you don't fit. You feel like you're like, more comfortable around men sometimes than women. Like that's been me most of my life. And it's just been this year of this like embracing feminine, and everything from like how I look on the outside and my appearance to how I really move throughout my day. And that to really tap into that powerful, powerful source that we have as women, which is that feminine energy that's so unique to us and beautiful. And again, powerful. And to let go of all these notions of maybe what we might believe feminine energy to not be strong. And we got to be the masculine, like, hard. And that's been me most of my life. And so it's been a journey this year to really begin to open up to that. And it's created spaces and openings in me, and more of a feeling of me being in alignment with me. And so I would love to have you join us. So I just launched it a few days ago. There's about 75 women in the group right now. Okay, so here's what you can do, because the URL for this is really long, right? It's like facebook.com.groups, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? So just go to Facebook, type in The Journey to Feminine, The Journey to Feminine, okay? You can also just email me, drkarenosborne@gmail.com. If you're just like, hey, give me that link, I want it in the group, or can you add me in? And what's the other thing I was going to say? In the show notes, so if you're listening on your phone right now, just open up in iTunes. You'll see there'll be like a notes section. And I'm going to put this in as a clickable link, okay, onto the show notes. So you can just like click on that. That'll bring you to Facebook, and then you can request to be added to the group. And so what this is a group of women that really want to begin to explore this. We're going to have some discussion questions in there. It's a very safe, sacred place. It is a private group. That means that, yes, you can, if it was a secret group, that means you would type in the Journey to Feminine, and it wouldn't even come up because it's like hidden, right? But this is one where, yes, people could find the group, but they won't see the comments, they won't see the people inside of the group. Like, it's all very, very safe. And I know for a lot of you maybe have held back being really honest with other women, and this is what I'm feeling. So this is a space that's full of love and support and sisterhood and community, and is sacred. And, I have some ideas of where this is going to go, but this is going to be really created with you, with all the women that are within the group. And so it would be my honor, and I would love for you to join us. So go to Facebook, type in The Journey to Feminine, request to be added by the group. You can email me, drkarenosborne@gmail.com, if you're like, I still couldn't find it or whatever. That's just easier for you. Or just open up the show notes and you will see the link there. And lastly, I have about 30 left of the Woman Wanting More limited edition beautiful orange leathered bound journals that I'm sending out for free. I've sent out, what's the number now? 526 to all different countries around the world over the last year. And there's about 30 left. And so I have you take care of a little bit of shipping, which is $9.95, and I take care of all the rest. I'm going to throw in some other cool bonuses and fun stuff in the journal as well. So if you want one of those last ones, and sister, head over to drkarenosborne.com/free journal. And again, this link will also be in the show notes. So I will talk to you in the next episode, sister. A life of more is all about understanding that it's about joy every single day. I love and appreciate you so, so much.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.